welcome again. It's Rowan Toll, and today we're going to talk about outcomes and the last of the four drivers. So probably in a lot of ways probably the most important of all, because this is the end. This is the result of all the work that you've put into these job seekers and the employers to match their needs and to get them together and send them on a journey into the future, hopefully never to be seen again within the employment services network, which is the ultimate outcome for anyone that comes through the doors. Now, I want to just go back one step, and I want to talk to you a little bit about something we covered off in the training that we did together, and that is when you change the way that you look at things, the things you look at change. And this is really important, I believe, in outcomes, because what we're looking at is a situation where this is the result of all the work you've done. Okay, the three steps you've been through before, they are now going to come together as an outcome, and that is what the result is. That's the end result for you. So this is really important. When you change the way you look at this, maybe it will change the way you go about doing some of the things you do, because it is so important. Now, obviously, as you know, there's the two critical times, or the most critical time is within the first month of someone gaining employment. So what do you do to promote that? Now, well, your post-placement support, your PPS, is really critical. And, I realise that there's a lot of people out there that actually, that's their job, is post-placement support. But I put it to you in that, I want you to change the way you look at that right now, because post-placement support can also be about going back to an employer and actually seeing them again, because you never know when the opportunity may come up to actually get a new person in there as well. And if you're supporting them through that process, yes, it's not technically post-placement support, but it's showing interest beyond the placement of just getting the person to the job. You've built the rapport, you've built the relationship with the employer. So think about, how can I keep doing that to not only support the people and the employer through that first phase of the first month, but how will that also maybe help me to get through the door again with future clients? So that's the first one. The second one is after 3 months. Now, obviously, the longer you do something, the more of a habit it becomes. So the longer we can keep someone in a job, the more likely they are to stay there. And in reality, we only get outcome payments at 13 and 26 weeks. So it's really important to get to that point. Now, I want you to think about, what else could I do? How could I look at this differently, so that when someone leaves my desk because they now have a job, what can I do differently to help them along the way? What else can I do to make sure that that is successful and that the outcome is reached of that 26 weeks? Because let's face it, unless you get to 26 weeks, the first three steps in placement are a waste of time, because you're back to square one all over again, with probably a lot more barriers this time than the last time. So it's really critical to change the way we look at the way we do things and see how we can improve. Now, obviously, you're already doing it well, and that's great, but we can always improve. So I want you to think about also, what else does it mean? What do outcomes mean? And again, we go back to the training where we talked about, outcomes are not just a result for you. They're not just a result for the job seeker or the employer. And it goes one further, it becomes a result for the community, because we've got more people contributing to the community as a whole. So outcomes are really big. They're bigger than just your 13 or 26 week placement payment, or outcome payment, sorry. So how can you change the way you go about thinking about doing that? And what does it mean? Okay, if you get a 26-week outcome, generally that means that the employers are happy with the staff. You've matched the needs of the employer really well to the staff, which was previously your job seeker. So that's a great outcome, and that also gives you almost freedom to walk back in the door and say, well, how else can I help you to build your business and make it stronger? Because remember, again, outcomes are all about the employers. Okay, you'll only get an outcome if you've got a happy employer. So really work hard to make sure those employees are really happy with the job that you've done, with the people you've supplied, and also be very willing to jump in and assist if needed to solve a few of the challenges along the way. So think about how is it that you do go about achieving your outcomes of those 13 and 26 weeks. What else do you do? What extra service do you provide for your customers, the employers? And what else could you do to do more to create a better outcome even further? So I challenge you to change the way you look at outcomes, and because obviously, as we say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So again, congratulations on all the work you do on getting people into work, and especially when you're dealing with challenging people. So I congratulate you on that, and also remind you to keep your attitude positive, because as you all know, my favourite saying is, attitudes are contagious. How'd you like to catch yours? Keep up the good work, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye now.